What's up, idols? It's CC Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I literally don't know how to explain what y'all are about to hear. Now, if you follow me on Patreon, then you've already heard that this was coming. There was a prelude sort of thing because the main girl in the story was with a guy and their first night together is what we talked about on Patreon. But also today, releasing with this video, another story time that was about her with another guy that's relevant to the story. And yeah, it's quite spicy. So yeah, check my Patreon if you want to see those two story times, if you want to see other not safe for work story times. Also couple vlogs, because me and my boyfriend just went out for my birthday and that vlog is going to be there probably in a day or two, so check that out, link in the description. Now for this story, who's the villain in this? It's a morally gray area, you know. Like, it's crazy. So for understandable reasons, she wants to be anonymous, so we're gonna call her Jasmine. So Jasmine is from the US. She's from California. She's not like an English teacher in Korea. She's never been to Korea so far. She ends up going because of this story. So in LA, that's where she lives, she met this guy online. And this guy we're gonna call Kibum. He's from Korea and he was in LA visiting some family. He was online, you know, he's a young guy. He said he wanted to find some people to hang out with while he was with his family. He didn't want to spend all his time with his family. He wanted someone to show him the States and show him the local scene and all that. So initially when they matched, it literally was just like a friendly thing. But when Kibum and Jasmine first met, they went for a walk on the beach, they had smoothies, they watched the sunset. It was romantic, but it was also pretty casual by Californian standards. They didn't expect to be attracted to each other, but they were, and here we are. Now the thing that's unfortunate about the timing of them meeting is it was on the end of his visit, the latter half of his trip. Now he goes to LA a few times a year, but there's months and months in between those visits. So because they hit it off so well, they definitely decided, okay, give me your number, give me your Instagram. We're gonna keep in touch, we're gonna talk every day, we're gonna make this work. I wanna see you again, you're my friend, you're my homie for now. Like I mentioned on Patreon, they had a bit of naughty and flirtatious exchanges. They did a bit of phone nookie. They were flirty with each other. This was like their way of keeping things interesting and exciting between them two. Throughout this exchange, this, you know, the months that they were apart, there were times where he wasn't really so responsive. He wouldn't really say much back to her. He might have like a word or two, and there would be days in between hearing from him again. So those times were pretty low for her, and that's when she started to feel like, oh, you know, he's not serious about me, he's just playing with me, yada yada yada, on to the next. But then he would swoop back in and win her over, and the cycle would kind of reset itself. Finally, it's been a few months now, and it's been this cycle of really talking, having phone nookie, sometimes not really talking so much, maybe not hearing from each other for days, and then coming back and everything's all good again. And now he's finally revisiting LA. But this time she decided she wanted to get an Airbnb because she doesn't live alone and he was in town staying with his family, so they wanted some alone time. After all that phone nookie, they wanted to see what it was like in person. And like I mentioned on Patreon, they released their tension, this building tension between them two. Things went great that night and they really like each other now. Jasmine drives, by the way. So Jasmine picked him up from his uncle's house. She picked him up, took him to the Airbnb. They drove around LA to check out a few spots together. And in these drives, the flirtation just kept going. You know, he's like, so when are you coming to Korea? And she's like, I'll come as soon as you're ready to host me. Like, this was their dynamic. Whenever they spend time together, they're kissing, they're holding hands, they're hugging up. Like, they're very much like a couple. Like, it's very flirty and romantic between them two. She wanted to take him to the best Korean barbecue spot in all of LA. And he's like, nothing is as good as it is in Korea, but I'll humor you, I'll entertain you. All right, take me to this place. So it's near West Hollywood. They go there. She loves it. To her, it doesn't get any better than this. This is the best Korean barbecue. To him, it's ass. He's like, oh, come on. This should not cost this much. This would be fresher if it was in Korea. She's like, there's no way this can be better than that. He's like, well, I'll show you one day whenever you're ready to come to Korea. In short, they spent a lot of time together. They really liked each other. They really hit it off. The chemistry was chemistrying, and they decided to be a couple by the end of this trip. They know it's long distance. They're fully committed to trying to make long distance work. They want each other enough to try and make this work. So it's the end of his visit again. They promised to call, text, check in with each other every day, several times a day, video call, just to show how much I care and how much I love you and how much I miss you. Things were going really good for the first 2 months of them being apart again, but then things started to change how they did before, where there would be days where she doesn't hear from him, and when he would respond, it would be like one word. So she didn't really know what to think, because now if they're a couple, before it was different. She's like, well, we're just talking, it's nothing. But now they're a couple, and they've boomed together. So now she's a bit more invested and her feelings are hurt. Unfortunately, this made her feel more distant from him. She says she found herself reaching out to him less and less often because what's the point? I know he's not going to respond. The conversations went from flirty anticipation of their next reunion to more of friends who are obligated to keep in touch with each other. And this is where Jasmine's villain arc begins. Now, full disclaimer, she said she knows she could have just broken up with him. That probably would have been much easier for all parties involved, but she didn't want to be the one to do that. She thought, you know what, if he ghosts me, and we just break up. It's just assumed that we broke up. She said she didn't feel the need because she didn't think she was ever going to see or hear from him again. So one night, she's out with her friends, she's out with her girls, 3 of her friends, and they're doing some bar hopping and club hopping in LA. So while she's out with her friends, she sees this guy, very tall, attractive guy in the corner, and her friends knows she technically has a boyfriend. They know about Ki-bum, they've heard all about him, they've seen the pictures, they've met him. They also saw how things have been going the past few months where they're not really talking, the conversation is dry. They encourage her to do whatever she wants, they encourage her to have fun, to forget about him, don't be loyal to him, he doesn't give a fuck about you, sort of thing. Basically, they watched their friend who was really sad and upset because of Ki-bum for a while, and now they wanted her to just be happy. When they see this really cute guy in the corner, they waste no time going over to talk to him and say, hey, are you single? Do you think she's cute? And they point to her. I explained this more in depth on Patreon, but he didn't even respond to the girls. He kind of just saw her, target acquired, and walked right over to her and introduced himself. So he explained that he is a foreign exchange student. He's from Taiwan, but he's studying at USC. Suddenly she has this really cute guy who shows interest in her, who's asking her questions, who's smelling good, looking good, and giving her the attention she's been wanting for the past few months. I also think it's funny that her friends give her a hard time for liking Asian guys. They're like, oh, I see one. He's your type. He's Asian. You must like him, right? But then they was like, wait, no, actually he is cute. Wait a minute. So that night concluded with Jasmine going to this guy's dorm and they had some fun time together. Based on how things were going with her and Ki-bum, she thought things would kind of be more serious with this guy and Ki-bum would just continue to fade in the back because they're not talking right now. And what's funny is her friends asked this guy if he was single. He's like, yeah, I'm single. As far as we know, he actually legitimately was. But when he asked Jasmine if she was single, she couldn't bring herself to say, yes, I'm single. She couldn't lie to him.
Lie again. Lie.
She was just like, well, the thing about relationships and being single, you know, when he realized she was kind of struggling to answer the question, he was like, shh, it's okay. And they just forgot about it. Like, he knew she might be married or engaged or dating someone, but he didn't seem to care. Crazy. So yeah, after Jasmine and this guy hooked up, they kept in contact. He talked to her all the time. She was able to talk to him all the time. They text, they meet up, they go out on dates. That's kind of been the dynamic. I think I'm saying the word dynamic too much in this video. Dynamic. So for a few weeks, her and this guy have been getting to know each other when suddenly Ki-bum calls her.
Stop the cap.
This is the first time he's even tried to call her in like 2-3 months. She kind of just froze and stared at her phone like, is this an accident? Should I just let it ring? Oh my God, like all the guilt just started to like rush to the forefront of her brain. She's like, oh my God, what have I done? And once it became clear that he wasn't gonna hang up, she decided to answer, but she didn't speak first. She let him speak first. She's just kind of like, she doesn't say anything because she can't say anything. She's been spending the last few weeks, nearing a month, having fun and being entertained by another man and being intimate with another man and dating another man. So Ki-bum's like, hello? And he sounds all cheery, his normal, happy-go-lucky self. Like nothing's weird between them. Like they talk all the time, every day like they've always been. So she's confused like, wait, I haven't heard from you in forever.
What's happening?
Ki-bum apologizes, saying he's been really busy with work. His life has been so crazy. A lot of things have happened in a short time, but he misses her and he really can't wait to see her again. And he's hoping they can continue and pick things up where they left off and he's gonna do better. And with Ki-bum sounding so sweet and sincere like he normally does, Jasmine is riddled with guilt. She's just like, oh fuck, I thought you were just gonna disappear from my life. What do? I like 2 of y'all. Like what would you guys do? She's wondering if she should just confess and tell him and be honest. Like, well, I haven't heard from you in a while. I thought we broke up, so I met another guy. Should she keep it to herself? Should she cut off the other guy? Like, what would y'all do in this situation? I am very curious about that. So in the end, No, I'm playing. In the end, Jasmine decided that actions speak louder than words, so she said, you know what? Okay, sure. You say this, but we're gonna see if you actually mean it. A big part of her was hoping he wasn't actually gonna change and he was gonna be his normal, dismissive, sort of dry conversation having neglectful self. That's how she felt. That was her words, not mine. But he proved her wrong because she woke up the next day to a text saying, I hope you slept well, call me when you can. And he was the same guy that she fell for in the first place, asking all these questions, going on about a day, sending funny messages, like everything that she loved about him. So she's like, wow, he's back. He's actually back. So for now, she decided to cool things off with the guy from Taiwan. She was just gonna focus everything back on rebuilding with her and Ki-bum have. She thought things were going so good, and she didn't want to ruin it by admitting that she cheated on him. So we fast forward and they haven't seen each other in 8 months, but things were good and back to normal. They were flirting again, they were having phone nookie again, they were communicating all the time, and they were also getting excited because it was almost time for his next trip to LA. But unfortunately, bad news, he had to cancel his trip to LA.
What?
After waiting months and months and knowing this is the moment we're going to see each other again, suddenly they realized it wasn't going to happen. So this is when they started to say, you know what? Why don't you come to see me here in Korea? They both knew that neither of them could survive not seeing each other until his next trip. And she's like, yeah, you know what? I actually would love to come to Korea. But the thing is, she couldn't do flight and accommodation, so she was hoping, okay, I'll pay for my flight and I can just stay with him. Like, surely he'll just let me stay at his place. She was hoping he would offer to host her, but that never happened, even though back in the day they joked about this, and he was like, yeah, you know, I'll host you, ha ha ha. But he said, okay, how about I pay for your airfare and you can pay for your hotel? And she's like, well, I'm going all the way to Korea to see you. I don't want to stay in a hotel by myself. Ki-bum says he lives in a bad neighborhood. He doesn't want her to be in like the worst part of Seoul. He wants her to see the best and have the best. You stay in a really nice hotel. I'll pay for your airfare. You shouldn't stay where I live. So with that, the trip is booked. 70 more days and they will be reunited, her and him in Seoul together. And her plan is to stay for 20 days. In the meantime, the relationship got so much easier because now they know for sure when they're going to see each other again. So all they can do is talk about this trip and plan this trip. It's like, oh, when you come here, I'm going to take you to the best Korean barbecue food. You're going to actually have proper Korean barbecue. I'm going to show you all the sights. We're going to have so much fun. I miss you so much. So the next few months was very easy because they knew they were about to see each other again. So the thing is, this Taiwanese guy still, you know, messages her and tries to see if she's okay and stuff. And she felt bad because he really was a very nice guy. He was really into her. He was very sweet. Her friends really liked him, but she wanted to work on her thing with Ki-bum against, you know, better judgment. Jasmine decides the best way to kind of make the Taiwanese guy lose interest is to say that she's pregnant.
Hold up.
But this had him say, wait, we slept together. Is it mine? Are you pregnant with my child? And she's like, no, me and my boyfriend slept together after you, and the timeline is just there. It's his kid, and we got to try and make our relationship work. So he wishes her well. He's like, okay, you know, congratulations on, you know, your upcoming motherhood. I hope things work out well with you. It was nice. Take care. So with that, the Taiwanese guy is out of the picture for now. So one of the final things they have to do is pick the hotel. Jumping ahead to her trip in Korea, she has just landed. Ki-bum picks her up, takes her to her hotel, and because it's late, he just spends the night with her and they sleep. First thing he wanted to do next day is show her a proper Korean barbecue restaurant. She was amazed by how much cheaper it was, how much better it was, fresh, the options with the lettuce wraps that was still so crispy. All her dreams came true. She was like, you know what, you're right, it's way better over here. Being together in person again after months and months and months of being apart, everything just felt so right, everything was perfect. But of course she still felt guilty because now seeing him and seeing how he's being so great and wonderful again, she's like, oh God, what did I do? And for this whole trip, she's trying so hard to suppress this guilt she feels, but it is written all over her face because several times Ki-bum has to ask her, are you okay? What's wrong? Of course, she's like, nothing, I'm fine. But this is where things are about to take another turn. While they were out seeing the sights, a friend of Ki-bum's come over to them and he's like, oh, hi. He comes over and speaks to Ki-bum. Now, Ki-bum looks a bit, panicked. This stuck with Jasmine because she's like, well, you know, you've met my friends. I've actually never met any of your friends. She was excited to meet one of his friends finally. And I mean, they're speaking Korean. Jasmine can't understand Korean anyway, so she's just kind of smiling and looking at them like, why do you look so nervous? This is your friend, no? And then suddenly this friend turns to Jasmine and goes, hi, in English. And she's, oh, hi, nice to meet you. How do you know Kibum? So he says, schoolmate, school friend, long time. And he's, you? Like, how do you know him? She says, girlfriend. And this is when the friend looks really confused. He just turns to Kibum, 여자친구? But Kibum laughs, he responds in Korean, but Jasmine notes that his actions was negation. He was negating that. He's like, 아니. And she's seen a few K-dramas. She knows yes and no. So she just stands there, lets them talk this out, and when they're done, Jasmine and Kibum walks away. She's like, why'd you tell him I wasn't your girlfriend? He's like, no, it's not that. It's just I haven't told them that I was dating someone yet. I don't want anyone to know yet. She's like, it's been like a long time. You don't want anyone to know you have a girlfriend yet? That's weird. So he says he's sorry. He just wants to keep some things private. Naturally, Jasmine left the situation feeling a little bit weird. So they went out again, they're shopping, they're just seeing the sights and everything. Jasmine notices that Kibum's phone has been ringing non-stop since their encounter with Kibum's friend. He would look at his phone and silence it. Look at his phone, silence it. Look at his phone, silence it. And it was getting on her nerves. She was like, why don't you just answer your phone or turn it off? So he answers his phone. And because they're having coffee, it's kind of quiet in there. So she takes out her phone and she opens Google Translate, record what you're hearing and translate it back to me. It didn't pick up much, but it did pick up the phrase, she's not my girlfriend. He tells jokes. I'm not cheating.
What did he say?
Huh? I imagine she's like just pretending to scroll or something, or pretending she's going through her phone while he has his phone call, but she has Google Translate open and she's seeing this text pop up on her phone and she's like, huh? Even seeing what she's seeing on the screen, she's like, wait, but can I even really be mad after what I did?
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently. That's okay. Things are gonna be okay.
So Kibum gets off his phone like, sorry about that, where were we? And before Jasmine can control it, she just blurts out, why can't I see your house? Why won't you let me see where you live? He's like, oh, I told you, my neighborhood's so bad. It's embarrassing, it's dangerous, it's not safe for you, and you're a foreigner. You should see the best of Seoul. She's like, okay, he's definitely living with another woman. She goes quiet for the rest of the date, and she is feeling so many things right now. Guilt, anger, frustration, a little silly, but I think most of all, just the irony. But she decides she wants to go through his phone to gather some evidence. And she notices he uses Face ID to unlock his phone. There's no passcode, there's no thumbprint. She's like, okay, that actually might be pretty easy because after we boom, he gets pretty tired, so I can just go through his phone when he goes to sleep. Damn. So at the end of this day, she invited him to her hotel room because every time they're in her hotel, they boom, and he's not gonna say no to boom, right? As usual, he's pretty sleepy when they're done and he falls asleep almost instantly. So she notices that when he's planning to spend a night, he brings a bag and he puts his phone in there. But when he's not really planning it, it's in his jeans pocket. He doesn't put it on the nightstand right next to him. She, gets up, make it seem like she's going to the bathroom, goes in his pocket, pulls out his phone, holds it up to his face. It's not working. She needs to get some light. So she turns on the bathroom light, pretends she's going to the bathroom, uses that light to open it. And one thing that's a little fucked up, she was saying how she didn't know if it would work with his eyes closed, but she thinks that because he had like a really strong monolid, the phone couldn't really tell the difference of him being asleep or awake. So she takes his now unlocked phone to the bathroom and she reads away. In one hand, she has her phone ready to translate the image of the text that appears on his phone so she can understand what she's reading. But first, she decided to go through his gallery. Maybe there's some pictures of him with some other woman, and it did not take long for her to scroll through and see him with a little boy, to see him with a woman, to see him with a woman and a pregnant belly.
What you say? That you only meant well.
So she uses her phone to take pictures of these pictures in his phone. After that, she decided to read his most recent messages because somebody was blowing his phone up while they were at dinner. She suspects it was another woman. Sure enough, it was a woman asking, where are you? Are you working late again? I'm waiting up. Are you okay? You said things would be better, but you haven't changed. It's still the same. You always leave me alone with son. And she doesn't need to say anything else. Like, it's pretty clear he was cheating on her too. But she didn't expect that he had a kid as well. He never not once even came close to mentioning having a child ever before. So because she has the evidence, she puts his phone back in his jean pocket. She takes hers, flush the toilet, completes, oh, I just went to the bathroom, whatever. Gets back in bed and she's just laying there staring at the ceiling like, I literally am not allowed to be upset because I was cheating on him too. But then she's like, why did he invite me to Korea? Like, that's so risky. Surely he couldn't have been that dumb. What's the point of having me in the States if he has a family here? And then she's thinking, this definitely explains why our communication was so inconsistent. Like, there were some times when I didn't hear from him, or when I did, it was, yeah, sure, good, cool, good night. A lot of this now finally makes some sense. And the fact that the girl said, you said things would be different, but it's the same, kind of implies that maybe they broke up for some point, or they were about to, and maybe that's when he wanted to focus all his energy on her. And that's when he started to pull back from Jasmine. So she falls asleep with so much raging through her brain. And when she wakes up, he's all, good morning, sunshine, being all sweet and happy. And she's just like, what? No, this is not real.
I am disgusted.
She says she found him impossible to look at. They ordered in for breakfast. They were in the room, kind of just them two just hanging out. But he did say he had to leave soon. But before that, she finally just blurted out, we need to break up.
The confrontation.
He's like, what? That's not funny. What are you talking about? She's like, I know you have a son and you're cheating on me. He denies it. She says, it's okay. I'm not mad. I cheated on you too. Now she has his attention.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
She said, I used Google Translate last night because something felt off. I heard you on the phone say, I'm not your girlfriend. You're not cheating and your friend is joking. Which is crazy to think about, that his friend hit up his girl saying, I just saw Kibum with another girl and she says she's his girlfriend. You might want to sort that shit out. We love a girl's guy. So then he's like, no, that's weird. Like, the translate was off. That was wrong. And that would be a fair argument if it was saying a bunch of random irrelevant stuff. But what it was translating was very much relevant to the situation at hand. But he's like, wait, when did you cheat on me? I'm not cheating on you. So then she's like, let me stop you there. I already went through your phone last night. I found the pictures. I found the messages. Like, who's this boy? Stop lying. I caught you.
You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie.
Ain't nobody lying.
But what's funny is while she's like, I got a picture of your son, she's also said, I got a picture of your wife. She didn't mean to say wife. It just slipped wife. It felt like a family dynamic. So she said, I got a picture of your son and your wife. And he says, we called off the wedding.
Oh! He needs some milk.
So they're engaged. She's like, it's okay. You can keep lying. We don't need to do this anymore. A few months back, I met a guy in the club and we hooked up and we were talking and chatting and going on dates for a while. I really liked him, but I cut him off because I wanted to try and focus on what we were doing. I cheated on you. You cheated on me. It is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
So he's pissed and he says, how could you cheat on me? And she said, the same way you cheated on me. Yo, I'm sorry. But then she's like, well, at least I didn't have a kid or get pregnant though. Go be with your family. Like, why are you here with me in this hotel room? She's known for a while that she's been doing wrong. So I guess part of her was hoping he was too. And maybe she feels relieved in finding out that he also did it. So this is hitting him like a ton of bricks, but it's kind of hitting her like it's all for the best. Which makes you wonder if he felt any guilt at all, because she did. So it got to the point though where he wouldn't leave her room and she was starting to freak out. Like, do I need to call like the lobby or the cops or something? Like, why aren't you leaving my room? Get out of my room. He finally left. So now that she's alone in her room, she's like, I have 9 days left in this country. The one person I came here to see in this country, that's how that ended. What am I gonna do for the rest of my time here? But the first thing she wanted to do was tell her friends, like, girl, y'all know how I met that boy in the club and we did what we did and I felt so bad about that. Well, guess what I just found out? She sends them the pictures. They're like, no effing way. Oh my God, like, you're joking. Of course, this is what men do. And like, they're kind of the hype girls for Men Suck, right? Like, they're loving this right now. And they know she's hurt, but they also find it just hilarious.
Hey, shut up!
But they tell her, like, listen, I hear Korea is amazing. Go see the sights. It's really safe, so you can just walk around, do what you want. Enjoy your vacation. Like, you still took off of work. Have fun. So when she got off the phone with her friend, she saw that Kibum had texted her saying, can we please talk? And she says, do not call me again. He calls her. She says, do not call me again. And then she decides to block him. But the thing that had her worried is he knows her hotel room. He knows exactly where she's staying. So she's like, what if I come back one of these days and he's just here waiting for me outside the door, outside the lobby? But luckily, it never came to that. She never saw or heard from him again. Literally, that's just how that ended. And what's funny is during her last few days in Korea, she was like, man, I should hit up Taiwanese boy again. But at the same time, she's like, well, I told him I was pregnant. I lied about that. I can't really come, like, by the way, I wasn't actually pregnant. Like, how far can you take the lie? Should you say you miscarried? We decided to give the baby up. Me and my boyfriend didn't work. Like, how do you know? So she decided it would be best to just leave him alone, keep him alone, start over with someone else, and be more honest next time. So what do y'all think about this story? Is it karma? Is it ironic? Is it tragic? Is it hilarious? Like, I would love to know how you guys feel about this, because honestly, I don't think I would find it as funny if I didn't hear her explain it the way she did. Like, with her tones, like, she's not at all hurt by this anymore. Like, she sees this as a really crazy, funny, like, wow, I cheated on him, but he cheated on me too, and he cheated worse. Her and her friends just keep laughing about it, like, damn, bitch, y'all both was cheating on each other. That's crazy. So yeah, I would love to know what you guys feel about this one in the comments. Oh my god. If you want to submit your story, email me at cclesson3@yahoo.com. If you want to see more stories like this, foreigners dating in Korea, that sort of dynamic, there's a whole playlist that's about to pop up on the end screen. Check them out. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong!